Grabbing the boards like, I'ma go coast to coast, I'm on beats like do-si-do. They don't wanna go toe-to-toe, step into my court, you get put in the poster. We ain't talk to nobody if you ain't with the smoke. Run up on me, watch your ankles get broke.
Yo, what up, it's your boy JDMC back with another video. Today we're going to be going through the top free agents, a little bit of the draft results, and then keeping you guys updated on all the trade updates. We'll get straight into it. I just want to say one thing. Thank you so much for all the support on last video. It got like 4K, which is like 4K more than any of my other videos. So thank you so much for that. Thank you to everyone who subscribed. Make sure you subscribe to this channel if you want to keep updated going into free agency and then even into the next season. I'm really keen to keep making these videos and updating and whatnot, so yeah, make sure you subscribe, like and comment, and let's just get straight into it. We've got a lot to cover today. So the first news we want to start off with this is actually really sad. So Klay Thompson suffered a leg injury. He obviously tore his ACL on his left leg, I'm pretty sure, which made him miss last season, but this is a lower right leg injury, and then the report came out that Klay Thompson has suffered a season-ending Achilles tear. Klay Thompson will miss his second straight season, so thoughts and prayers are with him. I'm not sure if we'll get to see him this season, but I'm really hoping he can recover and we get to see Klay Thompson again, because that actually sucks so bad. And then we do have a trade. So the Sixers get Danny Green. They also get Terrence Ferguson, which isn't included in this photo. And then the Thunder get Al Horford and a first round and a second round pick. This is really good for the 76ers. Obviously OKC's rebuilding. They've got, I think, 17 first round picks until 2026, which is crazy. So they'll be willing to take on Al Horford's contract. And this is big news for the Sixers. And then Bogan is actually pulled out of the trade and sign, so he's now entering free agency. The Bucks have been returned their players, so the Bucks don't have Bogdan at this point, so that's really interesting because that looked like a move that they really needed. And then I'm not sure what the Rockets are doing, because the Rockets traded Covington for Ariza, then gave away Ariza for a future first round pick. Why would you just throw Covington away like that? So they're obviously looking to change something or go into a rebuild or something. But yeah, that's real interesting because Covington was a huge part of their team and they've literally just traded him for Ariza and got a pick back. So I don't get that. The T-Wolves get Rubio, number 25 and 28 picks, and OKC receives 17th pick in the draft. I forgot who got taken at that spot, but yeah, so the T-Wolves have Ricky Rubio, who'll be a good backup point guard for D'Lo, and he gets to go back to the Timberwolves. And then we've got a three-way trade. I think this is our first three-way trade. So the Clippers get Luke Kennard, who will add a lot of shooting. He's got some upside. The Pistons get the number 19th pick, and then the Nets get Shamet. Just sort of a little trade. Won't change too much. I like this one as well. So the Sixers get Seth Curry. So now they've got Seth Curry and Danny Green. And then the Mavs get Josh Richardson in the 36th pick. I think this is beneficial for both teams. Luka's got that second ball handler, and the 76ers add more shooters around Joel and Ben. And then after the Klay Thompson injury, the Warriors pushed, and Golden State is nearing a deal with OKC to send Kelly Oubre Jr. I'm not sure what the details are about that trade, but it does look like that Kelly Oubre is going to be going to Golden State, and I guess they'll run Wigan at the 2 or something. You can read these on screen. These are sort of nothing trades, just to clear up cap rooms and move some pieces around. And Gordon Hayward has opted out of his contract with the Boston Celtics and is now a free agent. I think this is maybe bad news for the Celtics, because they could have really got a trade and sign with him if he accepted his last year, which was a lot of money, and then trade him. But there obviously probably wasn't much option, so they'll be doing something about this. I'm not too sure about what's happening after the him entering free agent. I guess he'll just go to another team. And JaVale McGee has re-signed with the Lakers. I think it was like 4.2 mil. This is good news because I know Rob will make a lot of solid moves in this free agency, but it's definitely good to secure JaVale back and just add that player to our roster after we waive Quinn Cook, which is actually real sad because we all love Quinn Cook. And these are the draft results. I'm not going to talk too much about the draft. I'm not the hugest sort of college basketball watcher, so I'm not going to sit here and act like I know all of these players and know their upsides and their downsides. There's a few things I want to touch on, like obviously Anthony Edwards is going to be good for the Timberwolves as a wing player. That's if he's dedicated to basketball, because he says that he wants to play football. James Wiseman's good for the Warriors. I think he fits their system. He's got a lot of upside. Melo, who I think is the most talented player in the draft, a 6'7" point guard, goes to the Hornets. And then we'll sort of skip through. Can someone let me know why Cole Anthony dropped so low? Because wasn't he one of the top picks? Like, they put him on 2K20 and everything. So someone let me know. I don't know if it was an injury or whatnot, but someone let me know why Cole Anthony dropped to the 15th spot. And also, did you guys see the number 24 pick RJ Hampton? Did you see, if you haven't seen it, go search it up, but watch when he gets drafted and his brother tries to give him the Bucks hat, and then someone throws the Bucks hat across the room and he never puts it on, so that was weird. But yeah, you can watch other people for more information on the draft. Like I said at the start, I'm not a huge college basketball watcher, so I don't know too much about this draft, but I definitely know a few of these players, so it'll be interesting watching them in the future. And now let's get into the NBA top 2020 to 21 free agents. So what I've done is I've gone through all the unrestricted free agents, and I've added all the ones who I think can help a team or a newsworthy sort of free agents. I didn't add all of the random people that no one cares about. So let's get straight into that. I'm just trying to speed through it somewhat, just so I've got a lot of information to tell. I don't want this video to be too long. So Jeff Teague and Gordon Hayward. Obviously, Gordon Hayward opted out of the thing. He could go help a team depending on how much money he wants. And same with Jeff Teague. I think Jeff Teague's still a solid veteran backup point guard who could help a team. He can get you 8 to 10 points maybe. So I think he'll be a good pickup if his value isn't too high. Joe Harris is probably one of the wouldn't say stars because he's not, but he's one of the top players in this free agency. He adds a lot of shooting. I think he's going to want around that 10 to maybe $16 million range per year, but if a team can afford him and not have to pay him too much, I think he'll be a good piece to a puzzle. Chris Dunn is, I think he's a good point guard. He could potentially be a starting point guard in the future. Very good defensively. He needs to work on his offensive versatility, but he could be a good pick for a team. Tristan Thompson, I don't think he's going to get an $80 million contract a game, but he can maybe be a good backup center or even a starting center on certain teams. And then the Nuggets are losing 3 players, so I'm not sure what's happening if these rumors about them re-signing any of these players or whatnot, but Plumlee goes, who was a good backup defensive option for Joker. Jeremy Grant goes, who was a great two-way player. He really took a step up this year. And then Millsap goes. Millsap's still a solid player. You just don't want to pay him too much. He obviously got that huge contract, but they do lose a lot of power forwards like Grant and Millsap, and they're going to have to fill that spot. So I'm not sure if they'll bring one of those two back or if they'll look to make some moves like maybe a Gallinari or something, but I definitely think try bring Grant back if he can fit in the salary. Christian Wood, he's also unrestricted free agent. He has a lot of upside. I think he's maybe one of the sleepers of this free agency. I don't know what his value is. I don't know if he wants that 10 to 15 range or whatnot, but yeah, Christian Wood's someone to keep an eye on. And then the Clippers have Montrezl Harrell and Marcus Morris Sr. They're both free agents. They could both do well. I think Montrezl is going to get a bag somewhere. He'll probably go to like a Charlotte or something like that. I don't know. And Morris, he's still a very solid player. It'll be good for the Clippers. I have a Clippers mate and he really wants to re-sign Morris. So if they can fit him under their cap, which I'm not sure if they can, he'd be a good player to bring back. Josh Jackson, he's another sleeper of this free agency. A lot of people sort of overlook him now. He was a 5th pick I think for the Suns, and didn't sort of live up to that. He's gone to Memphis and sort of just bench warms, but I think he's still a good wing defender. He can still develop his offensive game. He's still got all the time in the world to get better. So yeah, he could be a good pickup because I don't think his value will be crazy high. Maybe a team like the Lakers or someone could look to bring him on that bench unit, but we'll have to see. And then the Lakers have got losing Rondo, KCP, and Davis. So it's looking like Davis is definitely going to re-sign. The only real question is it going to be a 2-year deal? Is it going to be a 3-year deal or max, whatever? It's looking like he's going to do a 2-year deal and then see what him and LeBron can do. And then probably after that 2 years, he'll either look to sign that Supermax or maybe even move on. Rondo's looking like he's going to go to the Hawks, I think for like 15 mil. I'm pretty sure that was over 2 years though. And KCP is also getting offers from teams like the Hawks, but the Lakers can sign him back with their bird rights. The only thing is if he gets offered like an $18 to $20 million contract, I don't think the Lakers are going to want to use their bird rights on doing that. But I think if he's in that 10 to 15 range, especially 15 mil like Danny Green was getting, I think KCP believes he's worthy of that, and I think them will sort of look at if it's worth bringing him back on the bird rights. But I do think he's a piece we need if some other stuff doesn't go to plan. And the Heat lose a couple of important players. So I think Derek Jones Jr., I reckon he might move on. He's got a lot of upside. He still needs to develop his body a lot. But I reckon he might go on. I don't think the Heat will worry about spending too much money on bringing him back. Not sure what's happening with Goran. He was a huge piece to them, their leading scorer in their playoffs. So they'll probably be looking to try bring him back while Kendrick Nunn still develops. And then Jay Crowder is probably... I reckon a lot of teams are going to have him on their radar. I think his value's gone up, but he's not going to cost too much, and I think he's a great 3-and-D player. He's proved that he can play small forward or power forward, so being defensively versatile is huge. So keep an eye on those few players there from the Heat. Then we've got Pat Covington and Wes Matthews, and without Bogdan going there now, I heard there was rumours about Lakers looking at Wes Matthews at a veteran minimum if KCP and Bradley don't come back. But I think the Bucks are going to be really looking into bringing one of these two guys back, or try bring both of them back, especially without Bogdan. Not sure if they had a backup plan or whatnot, but it'll be interesting keeping an eye on these two because they can play a little part in helping a team win. And then the Thunder have Nerlens Noel and Gallinari as free agents. So Gallinari's come out and said that he's willing to take a pay cut if he can play on a contender. So I heard rumours about him going to the Hawks, but that's not a contender, so I don't know. We'll have to see what happens with him. And Nerlens Noel, I haven't heard too much about him. I think he's still a solid player. I don't think his value's too high, and I think he's an average starting centre, and he's a decent, very solid backup centre, so he could help a team out. Derek Favors as well from the Pelicans. I'm not sure what's happening with him. I really don't think he's going to get another $20 million contract. I'm not sure how interested the Pelicans are in trying to bring him back. He's a good veteran for the young core, so they could look at bringing him back if the price is right. Aaron Baines, he's another one. He is passing his prime. He's I think 30 plus now, 32 maybe. But he can stretch the floor. He can defend. He'll be an excellent backup center, and a solid starting center. He had a really good year with the Suns this year, efficiency wise. So a team could be looking to bring him in. I'm thinking maybe Lakers are looking at him if Serge doesn't go through and they don't want to bring Howard back. So we'll keep an eye on Baines as well. And then Portland loses Whiteside. I don't think Whiteside's going to get a huge bag, and I don't think Portland's going to bring him back because they've already got their center. But he's still one of my favorite players. Like, I don't think he's one of the best centers, but he's definitely one of my favorite players. And then they lose Melo. I think they definitely look at bringing Melo back quite cheap because he's a good 3rd, 4th scoring option. Now that they've got Covington, him and Melo can switch with Covington marking the better wing players on the defensive end. So that's interesting. And also Rodney Hood. I think Rodney Hood's still a great offensive option off the bench. He is coming off the injury. We didn't really get to see him play. And I know that he opted out of his player option, so he's going to enter free agency, and he could definitely help a team. Then we've got Kent Bazemore. I think Kent Bazemore sort of floated around the league for a bit now. I think he's lost some value, but that's just because of how much he was getting paid. He's quite sort of undersized for that 2-3 guard, but he's definitely a good defender. So not too much to say about him. Serge and Fred VanVleet. So there is a Serge Laker rumors. It just depends on how much money he's wanting to make and how much money other teams offer him. So he is past his prime now, and I don't think the Lakers are going to be looking at putting too much money into him, so he could really help a team out. And then Fred VanVleet, he has come out and said on the JJ Redick podcast that he wants to get a bag. He's won the championship. He feels like he doesn't have much left to prove in the Raptors, so I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to a team like the Knicks and steals $20 million a year. And then the last one, I'm pretty sure, is it the last one? Yeah, the last one, Jordan Clarkson. See, I think this is one of the better players in the top in the free agency. He will look for that 15 mil range, I think, maybe 15 to 80 mil a year, but he'll get you 15 plus points off the bench. He's great for running that offensive second unit. I think he can really help a team. He's probably entering his prime now, but he's still got some growth to show, and Jordan Clarkson can definitely help out a team. But yeah, that's that. I tried to go through it all somewhat fast, just because there was a lot of information to give, but I tried to break down as much as I could. But yeah, thank you so much. Again, thank you so much for all the support on the last video. I think it's at like 4K views now, which is ridiculous. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment who you think are the best free agents going into free agency and who you are looking at for your team, and also leave down below any comments about the trades that happened. So yeah, that's all. And lastly, prayers up for Klay Thompson, and I'll catch you guys next one. Peace.